Spooky Friends. We're on day 22 of our 31 Days of Horror Movie Villains, and today we're going to talk about Pearl. Pearl is played by Mia Goth in both the film Pearl and X, and we learn a lot about Pearl throughout both of these films. We learn a lot about Pearl's backstory in the film Pearl. The year is 1918, World War I is happening. She's kind of stuck on the farm with her family while her husband's at war. Her mother is a very strict person. She's very no-nonsense. Her father, unfortunately, is paralyzed and he resides in a wheelchair, and Pearl is just kind of not interested in work. She just kind of has her head in the clouds. She dreams of stardom. She dreams of leaving the farm and becoming famous and just being admired by everyone. And so we see Pearl on the farm while she just kind of ignores her responsibilities. She's not exactly very nice to the animals on the farm, and so we kind of learn that she's a little bit unstable. We're introduced to her sister-in-law Mitzi, who visits her and lets her know that there's going to be an audition for like this Christmas chorus line, and Pearl is so excited because she sees this as her ticket out of the farm. Also introduced to this projectionist that she meets at the movie theater. They form kind of a relationship, so we learn that she's not exactly eager for her husband to come home from work. We see as Pearl kind of loses herself more and more into this dream of getting off the farm and becoming a star, and she starts making some not great decisions. Her mother lets her know that she knows what she does when she doesn't think anyone's watching, and so she's very concerned for other people around Pearl, and there's an altercation. Pearl ends up hurting her family. Later on, she also makes up making some not great decisions in regards to the poor projectionist that soon learns exactly who Pearl is. He tries to kind of get away from Pearl, but she doesn't like him when he ignores her, so his ending is also unfavorable. We see Pearl at her audition. She tries her hardest, but they just are not interested. And so Mitzi drives her back home to her house and is trying to comfort her and offers to like, hey, if you want to talk to Howard, pretend I'm Howard. And so Pearl just starts talking to Mitzi and admits to all these like terrible things that she's done. And Mitzi's just sitting there like, oh no. And when she tries to excuse herself, unfortunately, Pearl realizes, oh, I just told Mitzi all these secrets about me. Maybe I should take care of that. So first we see Pearl, she's so desperate to get off the farm, and at the end of the Pearl, she realizes, this is all I have, so I better take care of it. So Pearl realizes that maybe this is all she's really destined to be. When we see Pearl in X, she is a much older woman in her 80s, and we do see that she's lived on the farm her entire life with Howard, because Howard came back from the war, and he wasn't necessarily scared off by some of the things he saw. So we see a group of people come to stay on the farm, and unfortunately for them, Pearl is very interested in what they're doing, and she takes a liking to one girl named Maxine, who looks almost identical to her as a young girl. And that Pearl and Howard have been on this farm, and Pearl has done some not very nice things on this farm. We're not entirely sure everything that she's done, but later on we do discover a man in her basement. It's very clear that Pearl wants Maxine to stay with her. She's so excited by the situation, she tries to kind of like seduce Howard. Howard is unable to give her what she wants, and so she just kind of goes on this spree where she interacts with everyone on the farm, and everyone ends up not being there anymore. Maxine ends up getting the upper hand. And then the last moments together when she's trying to get away from Pearl, Pearl basically tells her like she will fail, and that's basically what Pearl's mother told her. She sees Maxine as someone that she so desperately wants to be. She is just someone who has struggled her whole life to feel content with where she's at. She was never able to be the star she thought she was in her own head. I think all Pearl really ever wanted was to be loved and admired. She kind of wears her heart on her sleeve for better or for worse.